Hey guys, welcome to our blending lesson today. So today we're going to be working on the K sound. So what's that K sound again? K, like koala. Now, the K sound can be spelled in two different ways. It can be spelled with CK or it can be spelled with just K. Now, it will be spelled with CK if it's at the end of the word. So it'll still say K, but it'll just be a K at the end of a word. And it will be spelled with K, if it is at the beginning of a word. All right, so we're going to review all the sounds we've been doing, and then we'll go ahead and blend some K words. So remember, when I say the letter, I want you to say the sound. So A, what does A say? Ah. And B, what does B say? B, like bat. And C, what does C say? K, like camel. And D, what does D say? D, like dolphin. E, what does E say? Like egg. And F, what does F say? Like fire. And H, what does H say? Like hippo. And I, what does I say? Like insect. And L, what does L say? Like lemon. And M, what does M say? Like map. And N, what does N say? Like nest. And O, what does O say? O says like octopus. And what does P say? P says like piano. And R, what does R say? Like rose. I like seeing all that participation. And S, what does S say? Like sun. And T, what does T say? Like turtle. All right. So our first word today is kit. Your turn. Kit. Ka, I, ta. Kit. So in the word kit, we have that K at the beginning. So it's still going to say ka, like the koala, but it's at the beginning. And we've got I, which says what? I. And then T, which says what? Ta. So now let's blend. Ka, I, t. Kit. All right. Next word. Sit. Your turn. S, I, ta. Sit. So S, what does S say? S. And I, what does I say? I. S, I, si. And T, what does T say? Ta. Let's blend. S, I, t. Sit. And next word. Kid. Kid, your turn. Ka, I, da. Kid. So there's that K there at the beginning. So what does K say? Ka. And then there's that I. What does I say? I. And D. What does D say? Da. So now let's blend. Ka, I, da. Kid. All right, next word. Lid. Your turn. O, I, da. Lid. So L says what? Oh. And then we've got I in the middle that says I. And D says what sound? Duh. Let's blend the word. O, I, duh. Lid. Excellent, thank you. So let's go ahead and read our words so far. We've got kit, k-it, kit, sit, s-it, sit, kid, k-id, kid, and lid, o-id, lid. All right, next word. Kick, your turn. Ka, I, k, kick. Right, so at the beginning, I hear that ka. And since it's at the beginning of a word, it's going to be spelled with that K. And then I hear I. And that's an I. So ka, I, ki. And then ka, I, k. So since that ka sound is at the end, we're going to spell that with CK. Okay, so it's 4 letters, but it's only going to have 3 sounds. So ka, I, ki. And now if we turn that CK into the regular ka, I, k, kick. Right, next word. Sick, s, I, k, sick. So what do we hear at the beginning of sick? Go ahead and say that letter. S. Yeah, we hear S at the beginning of sick. So I've got sick. What letter do you think comes next? Go ahead and shout it out. I. So that's an I. So I, sick. What do we think? What sound is that? The K sound. Now, since it's at the end of the word, how do you think we're going to spell it? Go ahead and shout it out. CK. That's right. We're going to spell that K with a CK. So let's go ahead and blend that. S, I, k, sick. Okay, remember, 4 letters, only 3 sounds. S, I, k, sick. Excellent. Next word, sack. Your turn. S, a, k, sack. So this is like a bag. So what do you hear at the beginning? That's, what letter is that? S. Yeah, S says S. And then I. It's going to be an I. Because I says I. S, I, S. And then ka. So how do you think we're going to spell that ka if it's at the end of the word? Go ahead and shout it out. CK. So let's blend. S, I, k, sick. All right. Next word. Sock. Your turn. S, a, k, sock. All right. So at the beginning of that word, sock, what sound do you hear? What letter? Ah. So that's going to be an O. An S. So s, a. Now what do you hear? We hear an O. So, saw. And then I hear that ka in sock. Sock. Now it's at the end. That K is at the end. That k. So how are we going to spell it? Shout it out. CK. That's right. Thank you. I am seeing some good participation. I appreciate it. So now let's go ahead and blend this word. Sock. All right. So let's go ahead and we'll read our line and we'll blend it as we go. So, kick, your turn. Ka, I, k, kick. Sick, your turn. S, I, k, sick. Miss Porter made a mistake. This was supposed to be the word sack. So I'm going to change that because I just realized it. So we're going to put an there. Silly Miss Porter. I hope you guys are having a little laugh. So we've got sack, sock, sock. All right. Next word. Pick. Your turn. Pick. Pick. So what do we hear at the beginning of that word pick? Makes what letter? P. P says pa. And then I. What letter is that? I. Thank you. And then pick. Now I hear that at the end. So how do you think we're going to spell that? With a CK. CK. You guys are doing great. Thank you. So remember, 4 letters, only 3 sounds. Pick. Next word. Pack. Pack. Okay, what do you hear at the beginning of that word pack? What letter? P. What letter do you think is going to come next? A. Absolutely. Thank you. Pack. So how do you think we're going to spell that? Put a thumb in the air if you think it is CK. Put a thumb in the air if you think it is K. It is CK. Thank you so much for your participation. So now let's blend this. Pack. Next word. Rock. Your turn. Rock. Okay, what do you hear at the beginning of rock? Rock. We hear which is R. R says rock. Okay, that's an O. Rock. So, how are we going to spell it? Put a thumb in there if you think it is K. Alright. Put a thumb in there if you think it is CK. Alright, CK, yeah. It's going to be at the end of the word rock. So we have to spell it with a CK. Let's blend. Rock. And last word. Lock. Your turn. Lock. Lock. So at the beginning of the word lock, what letter do you hear? L. Yeah, we have that L. And then what do you think comes next in lock? Oh, I hear an O there. So L says O says lock. All right, I hear that K at the end. All right, thumb in the air if you think it is K. All right, thumb in the air if you think it is CK. Thank you. We are going to spell it with CK because it's at the end of the word. CK will always be at the end of the word. All right, let's blend. Lock. All right, let's go ahead and we'll read this line and make sure we blend right along with it. All right, so pick, pick, pack, pack. Remember, these words have 4 letters, but only 3 sounds. Rock, rock, and lock, lock. All right, let's go ahead and we'll do a sentence. All right, and K says what? K. And I says k. And then CK says what? K. Kick. So why is this K capitalized? Go ahead and shout it out. It's at the beginning of a sentence. We always have to have a capital letter at the beginning of a sentence. So I says what sound? I, I. And T says what sound? Ta, ta. I, t, it. Right, so that is the end of our sentence right there. So let's go ahead and read what we have. Kick it. Kick it. So maybe in this sentence, like there's a soccer ball in front of somebody and they're like, oh, kick it, kick the ball. So what needs to be at the end of our sentence? We need to have some kind of punctuation. So in this sentence, there's two possibilities. What do you think one of them is? Go ahead and shout them out. All right, one of them, we could have a period. You're absolutely right. And what do you think the other one might be? It's an exclamation point. And we would use an exclamation point if we were super excited when we said that. Kick it! Kick that ball! So I'm going to put an exclamation point. And we're going to do one more sentence. So I. Okay, so this is a high frequency word. It's when we're talking about ourselves. It's at the beginning of a sentence. So we're always going to capitalize this word I. Even if it's in the middle of the sentence, we always capitalize I. So A says ah. M says am. N says O, like the octopus card, says ah, nah. And T says ta, not. I am not. What is I not? S says s. I says sit. There's that CK at the end of the word, which says k, sick. All right, let's go ahead and read our sentence. I am not sick. Your turn. Fantastic, thank you. So our sentence is missing punctuation. It's missing something at the end. Once again, I think there's two different possibilities. It could be a period, if you're just kind of saying it, I am not sick. Or if you're saying it with a lot of emphasis, like, no, I'm not sick, then maybe you would put an exclamation point there. So I'm going to put an exclamation point. If you are writing it in your journal, you can choose. If you want to write an exclamation point, you go right ahead. If you want to write a period, you go right ahead. Same up here with that sentence, kick it. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll read our sentence. So, kick it, your turn. Kick it, thank you. And I am not sick, your turn. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks so much for your participation. I truly appreciate it, and I will see you later.